What's up, guys? It's Drew Dillon from Project Lift, and this week we're looking at your strength is stalled in the Olympic lifts. How do you break through? Let's get into it. All right, guys, so the first thing I want to talk about is absolute strength versus explosive strength. And remember, the Olympic lifts, we're going after explosive strength. So the biggest difference between absolute strength and explosive strength is the duration of time that we're asking for the movement to happen, right? For our force to come. So if you think, I imagine that a number of you watching this, your strength numbers have come up in the squats, in deadlifts. However, your Olympic lifts are staying the same. You're not seeing that progress. So let's look at explosive strength in a little bit more detail. How can we give an example of this outside of the lifts? And one easy one that I've learned is think about how we flick something, right? If I'm going to flick something with my finger, when I take my finger and if I'm just going to extend it into my hand, this is explosive strength. How quickly can I generate force, right, in that short amount of time? Now, when you look at absolute strength, it's like when we hook it, and now I can build up force, boom, to let it come out. You see that in absolute strength, I'm able to flick much harder, right? However, with explosive strength, I have to get my muscles to fire explosively in that short amount of time. I don't get to build up the force. And that's an easy way that we can differentiate between a squat and an Olympic lift. So when we really bring this down and we start to look at that, it gets into the nervous system. And that's where we're going next. All right, guys, so now we're talking about the nervous system versus training the muscular system. What in the world does that mean? Let me make it simple for you. So when we train the muscular system, if we're just trying to make muscles bigger, here's the thing, guys, they just need to be fatigued, right? If you fatigue the cell will grow. However, for the nervous system, programming gets quite a bit different. It can be finicky. And this is another reason that athletes stall, and to be able to break through, we have to program for that nervous system. So keep in mind, whereas when we're fatiguing muscle, trying to make muscle grow, that's where we can grind out, those sets where it's like, you feel the burn, we're grinding it out. When it comes to the nervous system, once the nervous system's overtaxed, it doesn't benefit the nervous system at all by continuing to go. And that's what a lot of athletes do. Then now they're training bad motor pattern, which is something we're going to talk about next. So how can you train for the nervous system? It's first by understanding the nervous system. When I say nervous system when it comes to Olympic lifts, imagine when you are just on and you're snappy, you feel crisp, explosive, things just feel great. And then the next day, same movement, same cues, everything feels the same to you, except it just feels sluggish. You can't turn it over. It doesn't feel crisp. It doesn't feel snappy. That's nervous system. And tuning into our nervous system to allow ourselves to train while it's sharp and then not beat it up when it's down. That's how programming for the nervous system really comes in. So let's talk about that technical pattern that I was getting into of when people start to grind it out, thinking it's the muscular system. All right, guys, technical pattern. So now if we're looking at the technical movement, are you allowing yourself to train for the technical movement? Are you going heavy every day? Are you going past when your nervous system's taxed and you're just muscling everything up and pushing yourself like you're trying to make the muscle grow? However, you haven't been programming for the nervous system. If you're doing that, I can guarantee you're falling out of good positions, right? And if you continue to fall out of good positions and you continue to train poor positions, those are the positions that you're going to be using when it's ultimately time to push for heavier weight. So what do? This is where you start to allow yourself to work in your training around your threshold of the movement. So if you're in an above the knee position and you have a difficult time holding the above the knee position at a certain weight, you need to be training around that weight, if not a little below it, so you can strengthen and understand how to move through that pattern. Technique is vital with these lifts. And if you're not giving yourself that time and training, you're missing a big opportunity and it's preventing you from breaking through. So another step to breaking through is training the technical pattern and giving yourself that time in your programming. All right, guys, and finally, I want to talk about the foundation, your foundation of movement. Outside of the technical pattern, I'm talking how is your body able to support itself? And what I mean by that is your motor pattern working well for you, right? Common questions that you can ask yourself, because I get it, that's kind of vague. You might be like, what are you talking about? So common things we can look at is, are you suffering from tweaks and nagging pains? That's a telltale sign. The fact that you're stuck, that you aren't seeing progress in your lifts can be a telltale sign that your foundation isn't able to support what you're trying to build upon it. Right? And that gets into motor pattern that's outside of conscious thought. So when I go to lift my arm, what muscles activate? When I go to squat, when I go to stand up, what muscles activate? And if our muscles aren't activating well, they're not working together, we are going to plateau, we are going to get stuck, and our numbers are going to be holding steady. So with the foundation, how you get into working on that is, again, we have to assess the movement. After we assess the movement, we need to make corrections if corrections are needed, and then we need to strengthen those corrections once they're made. Then we can apply them to the lifts. Now, here's the thing, guys. What we just launched at Project Lift is called Vital Strength, and it works exactly on this. The results that we've seen from Vital Strength with our athletes are athletes PRing, but in outlandish ways. So this all started with the COVID lockdown. We had athletes come back after lockdown and PR in their lifts in just a couple weeks. They hadn't touched a barbell. So think about that, guys. So if you're unsure what to do with your foundation, I encourage you to check out Vital Strength. We have a free week coming up this month for you to try it out, see what it's about, and learn some things. So guys, click that link, come check it out, and let it benefit you. So again, recapping this whole video, when you look at breaking through, when you're stuck with your Olympic lifts, you have to be aware of the nervous system and you have to program to it, okay? You got to work on your technique. You got to be moving well. And then from there, guys, the foundation. What is going on with your foundation of movement overall? So I hope this helps, guys. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, but I'll see you next week.